Well, we start with transfers. With less than a month to go until the Premier League returns, there's a potential blow for champions Arsenal as they look to strengthen their squad. So we're joined by Dharma Sheth, who can tell us more. Right, before that, there's been some breaking news in the last hour or so. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is about Vinicius Jr. And Sky Sports News understands that as it stands, he looks set to stay at Real Madrid. And that's because Real Madrid have got no intention of selling Vinicius Jr. and they are confident that he will, in fact, agree a new contract at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid are in a bit of a sticky situation because Vinicius Jr. has only got 1 year left on his contract. So in 6 months from now, he could sign a pre-contract agreement with a club outside Spain, and then he could join any club for no money at all next summer. And if you think about the valuation of the player, we think he's around £137 million. That's a big amount of money to forego by someone not signing a new contract. But it seems at this stage that Real Madrid are pretty confident that he will agree that new deal. Jose Mourinho, the new boss there, has made that return, of course, to Real Madrid, values him very highly and he wants him to stay put.
So how will that impact Real's pursuit of Yan Diomande?
Unaffected. I don't think this was anything to do with Vinicius Jr. at all. I suppose they may have used it as almost like a way to maybe put pressure on Vinicius Jr. But if you think about it, I think Dave Reed was on yesterday on Sky Sports News and he was illustrating the positions that Yan Diomande has been playing for RB Leipzig and during the World Cup as well. And he plays on both sides. So there is a situation where Yan Diomande could play on the right. Vinicius Jr. signs his new contract at Real Madrid. He keeps his preferred position on the left-hand side and Kylian Mbappe through the centre. Not a bad front three. As far as Diomande is concerned, he's continuing to train with RB Leipzig at the moment while talks with Real Madrid continue. When I say he's training with them, our colleagues at Sky in Germany are saying it's not that strenuous, the training he's doing, because they want to protect him, because there is a feeling that this deal is pretty close. We think RB Leipzig want around £102 million for him. They feel that that is a reasonable valuation for a player of his ability and his age profile. Real Madrid are offering a little bit less. There is a gap in valuation, but not so big that it seems insurmountable. It seems like it's a one-horse race for this player at the moment because PSG have pulled out and they publicly pulled out. So it looks like it's going to be a matter of when and not if Diomande becomes a Real Madrid player, but as yet there's no full agreement.
And then what does this mean for Arsenal? Does that mean they're going to now step up their interest in Bradley Barcola?
I think we need to just say Arsenal will continue to keep an eye on Vinicius Jr.'s situation still. I know we're saying he's set to stay at Real Madrid. This is Real Madrid's confidence that he is going to sign a new contract. He hasn't signed that new contract yet. So as far as Arsenal are concerned, his situation, as it stands right now, he's got a year left on his contract. That's why they are exploring the conditions of a potential deal with Vinicius Jr. and making it clear that they are interested. But as we know, how Andrea Berta does his business at Arsenal is very clear. It's not about focusing on one target and then the risk of that target not coming to the Emirates. Where do they go? They try to get their ducks in a row to Arsenal with 3 or 4 deals, with 3 or 4 targets, get as far down the line as they can with as many targets as possible, and then decide, right, this is the player we're going to go for because it suits the budget, it suits our playing style, and it suits the character suits the squad as well. So they will have looked at many other players aside of Vinicius Jr., aside of Morgan Rogers, who ended up going to Chelsea for £117 million. 2 of those players, one of them you've mentioned in Bradley Barcola, he's kind of intimated to PSG that he's not going to sign a new contract. That's primarily because in the biggest games last season, namely the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Liverpool, the semi-finals of the Champions League against Bayern Munich, the final of the Champions League itself against Arsenal in Budapest, he was on the bench. It was Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Desiree Doué who was the preferred front three for Luis Enrique. He doesn't want to go through that again. Yes, it might have been eased his situation because Yan Diomande is now not coming to PSG, but it doesn't change his situation really at PSG. He's still going to be the first pick after that front three. So it looks like he could become available for a transfer, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Liverpool are interested as well, and we think PSG might value him, well, initially at around £145 million. They see his age profile. He's a French international, and he's a back-to-back Champions League winner. That's how they will pitch it. That's why they will put the price at that high. The other player, of course, is Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. The issue for Arsenal there is Atletico Madrid, don't want to sell. Their price is going to be absolutely huge. And the player's preference, as far as we know, is to go to Barcelona. But if he was to go, Atletico Madrid would probably want to sell outside La Liga rather than to a rival in the same league as them. Hence why it's probably wise that Arsenal keep an eye on the situation of Barcola, of Alvarez, and on Vinicius Junior as well.
Arsenal could be preparing one of the boldest transfer moves of the summer, as a fresh report claims the club is ready to go for it in pursuit of a Real Madrid superstar. There's also a training ground update, the latest on Arsenal's injury list, and a look at how Mikel Arteta could set his side up for the next match. Stay with us, because this Vinicius Junior story alone could shape Arsenal's entire summer. Good evening and welcome back to Victor Gunner's IQ, your daily home for everything Arsenal. Today we're covering Arsenal's reported pursuit of Vinicius Junior, a training ground update, injury news, tactical analysis, our predicted lineup and a full match prediction. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with the headline story. According to a report from The Athletic, Arsenal are aware that signing Vinicius Junior from Real Madrid will not be straightforward this summer, but sources suggest the club is determined to try anyway. Here's the situation. Vinicius's contract at the Bernabeu is set to expire at the end of next season, and reports indicate that despite ongoing talks between the player and Real Madrid over a new deal, no agreement has been reached. That uncertainty appears to have opened the door for Arsenal. It is understood that the Gunners have placed the Brazilian on their shortlist of forward targets, particularly with Arsenal still searching for attacking reinforcements after missing out on Morgan Rodgers, who completed a reported £117 million move to Chelsea last week. That miss seems to have added extra urgency to Arsenal's search for a genuine game changer out wide. And here's the key detail. Reports claim a move for Vinicius has already been approved at all levels within the Arsenal hierarchy, with sporting director Andrea Berta set to lead the pursuit personally. According to the report, Arsenal are willing to go for it, language that suggests real ambition behind the scenes, even with the difficulty of the deal acknowledged. Why would Arsenal want him? Vinicius scored 22 goals for Real Madrid last season across all competitions, as the club finished as La Liga runners-up behind rivals Barcelona and reached the Champions League quarter-finals. His pace, dribbling and end product would give Arteta a different kind of attacking weapon, someone capable of unlocking deep defences on his own. But, and this is where it gets complicated, the transfer fee being reported is significant. Real Madrid are said to be demanding around £137 million, or roughly €160 million, to consider selling, despite Vinicius having 12 months left on his current deal. On top of that, it's been suggested Vinicius himself would want an annual salary in the region of £17.1 million, working out to around £328,000 per week. So the ambition is there, the interest is real according to reports, but the financial mountain Arsenal would need to climb is enormous. Tactical fit, excellent. Feasibility, that's the real question mark hanging over this one. Moving to the training ground, Arsenal's squad continues to build toward their Premier League title defence, with Arteta expected to fine-tune his attacking options as the transfer picture becomes clearer in the coming weeks. On the injury front, Arsenal will be continuing to monitor their squad's fitness levels as preparations continue, with further updates expected closer to the next fixture. Tactically, this VINICIUS pursuit tells you something important. Arteta wants a left-sided forward who can beat a man in isolation, not just rotate possession. If Arsenal can somehow find a way to fund this deal, it would represent one of the most aggressive attacking statements of the Arteta era. With the current squad, Arteta is likely to continue trusting his established front line while assessing whether reinforcements arrive before the market closes. As it stands, Arsenal remain well placed to continue building on last season's form, but a move of this magnitude could completely shift expectations heading into the new campaign. Now, I want to hear from you. Could Arsenal actually pull off a deal for Vinicius Jr.? Is this realistic or just paper talk? Drop your prediction in the comments below. So to summarise, Arsenal are reportedly prepared to go for it in pursuit of Vinicius Jr. despite the size of the challenge ahead. Berta's role will be crucial in the weeks to come. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to Victor Gunner's IQ and hit the notification bell so you never miss an Arsenal update. Drop a comment below with your thoughts and I'll see you in the next one.